and roundly denounced. Jamie Metzl may be the original whistleblower on this. He's not a conservative, by the way. He's a liberal. He's a former NSC official from the Clinton administration. And as we said, he's been sounding the alarm on where this virus came from since the very beginning, and we thought it would be nice to speak to him tonight on the eve of his vindication. Jamie, thanks so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
So,
my pleasure.
I'm embarrassed this is the first time that we've had you on the show. Congratulations on being right. I know it's cold comfort in light of everything that's happened, but tell us the response. You came out very early and said, this seems like what happened. What kind of response did you get?
So you're right. I'm a progressive person. Wasn't a big supporter of President Trump, and I don't watch a lot of television, but I'm not even fully aligned with Fox News. But early last year, when I was looking at the evidence that was being presented, I saw a couple of things. As someone who understood the science, I knew it was complete baloney to say that the pandemic started in the Wuhan wet market when 40% of the earliest cases had no contact with the market. And as somebody who understood China, it really raised a lot of alarm bells when China was so aggressively peddling that fake story that the pandemic started, the outbreak started in the market. And then what really upset me was in February of last year, there were a group of eminent scientists, including Nobel laureates, who had a letter in The Lancet, the eminent scientific journal, where they said that it is certain or almost certain that the pandemic has a natural origin, and anybody who suggests otherwise is a quote-unquote conspiracy theorist. I was coming from a very, I felt, honest place, asking the tough questions that I felt needed to be asked. And I spent the entire year last year, like a small number of others, fighting this uphill battle because there was a fake and forced consensus among scientific journals, among mainstream media, not even creating the space for this essential question to be asked. And I'm glad that that's opening up, but we still have a lot of work to do.
You got to think the response had everything to do with the country it came from. I spoke to a trustworthy national security person. There aren't many, but I did speak to one today who said, Wall Street and Washington are desperate that China is not the enemy because that's where the money comes from. They've gotten rich from China. Now, I'm not a conspiracy nut, but I got to think that if it had been Russia or Malawi or Belgium or any place but China, we would be looking more closely into its origins.
That's partly true. I mean, another way of saying it is let's have the same fact pattern, but it had been Chad or Congo or some other place that didn't have this kind of political clout. We would be going in on day one. China has a lot of influence. It's an influence economically, politically, and that's why there was a lot of fear. There was a lot of caution. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison is another hero of this story because early last year, he was asking really tough questions. What happened? China slapped sanctions on Australian copper, on beef, on wine exports to China. And then the Australian resolution at the World Health Assembly, which was calling for a tough investigation, got so watered down that China, which had vehemently opposed that resolution, actually supported this watered down resolution which passed. And that laid a foundation for a deeply compromised process that was not even an investigation. And you mentioned, Tucker, that there's no U.S. investigation into the origins of COVID. It will shock your viewers to know there is no international investigation into the origins of COVID right now. And that's why the government representatives meeting now at the World Health Assembly, they must authorize a full and unrestricted investigation into the origins of the pandemic with full access to all of the relevant record samples and personnel in China and beyond.
That's for sure. That is shocking. And if there was any topic on which we needed a 9/11 style investigation, I think it would be this one. Jamie Metzl, a brave man, of course, punished for it. We appreciate your coming on tonight. Thank you.